Good day, class. We will now be discussing about your part 1 of the primary hemostasis, which is your megacytokaryopoiesis or megakaryopoiesis. So this part will encompass your platelet and its function. Also, how does your platelet are being produced. So first of all, let's now go to your megacytopoiesis. Okay, so this is the development of your platelet from the CFU or the colony forming unit, no, to a platelet or mature platelet. So this development occurs by endomitosis. So your endomitosis is known to be the way of your platelet production. Okay, so way of your platelet production, how? So the example is the nuclear splitting without cell division. So the nucleus of their platelet is being distributed, no, but your cytoplasm is not breaking, no, unlike the other cells, like using your mitosis, okay, or meiosis. They divide the cell into 2 or 4 or more cells, no, accordingly as to the cytoplasm and the nucleus. Okay, so usually your single megakaryoblast, okay, may contain 2 to 64 times of the normal number of your chromosomes. So how many chromosomes do you have in your cell? So usually you do have 64 chromosomes, okay, which is 32 pairs, no. Usually the last pair is the sex gene, so you no more than 2, no, times 2 times this chromosomal number, okay, in your megakaryocyte, since your nucleus is the one dividing, not the cytoplasm. So what are the stages of your megakaryocytic maturation? So it includes your megakaryoblast. So we already know that blast, no, is bata, no, bata, B meaning batang cell, no. This is the premature cell of your thrombocyte or your platelet, okay. Then you do have megakaryocyte, meaning before, okay. So magkakaroon ka ng idea kung ano yung pagkakasunod-sunod nila. So coming from the bata, going to before the mature one, no, megakaryocyte, then granular megakaryocyte, no, or immature megakaryocyte, then mature megakaryocyte, no, going to your thrombocyte. So your mature megakaryocyte is also known as your thrombocyte. Thrombocytes. Okay? So usually, also, your megakaryocyte, no, the nuclear chromatin is densely staining, dispersed early and more compact at the later stage. So usually, mas malaki, no, ito lang ang cell na, no, habang tumatanda, mas lumalaki. Unlike other cells, para lalong tumatanda, lalong lumiliit, no, kasi they are dividing. Unlike this, no, lalong tumatanda, lalong lumalaki, then biglang sobrang liit. So yun yung nangyayari. So nucleoli are small at all development stage. So mostly the nucleus is the one actively dividing or actively participating in the maturation of your megakaryocytopoiesis. Okay, let's go now to your megakaryoblast. So this is the first stage. Okay, committed myeloid progenitor cell. So when you say committed myeloid progenitor cell, the one being produced in this cell is only thrombocyte. That's why it is named to be committed. Okay? Pag nakakita kayo ng committed, yan, no? Usually pag nakalagay na committed, yung mga committed na ganyan ay ang meron lang, yung napoproduce nila is iisang cell. Okay? So this myeloid progenitor cells is usually coming from your unipotential stem cell, your CFU, or megakaryoblast. Megakaryocyte. Okay, CFU meg. Okay, yan dyan ang gagaling yung megakaryoblast na yan. They are characterized by overlapping nuclear lobes and basophilic staining cytoplasm. Their size ranges from 6 to 24 micrometer. So usually, your megakaryoblast is from 6 to 24 UM. Okay? So 6 to 24 UM of your size. No? More than the normal size of your RBC. Okay? This is the earliest thrombocytic stage. No? And also, the nucleus divides but without, no, naka-underline na dyan, without cytoplasmic division. As I said earlier, no, hindi nagde-divide yung nucleus, yung cytoplasm niya, only the nucleus. Okay? So as the nucleus divides, no, yung cytoplasm niya, so ito yung example, ito yung cytoplasm, ito yung nucleus. Okay? As it continues to divide, syempre lumalaki ng lumalaki, lalaki ng lalaki ngayon, no? That's why, no, this results in a giant cell. No, that with a measurement of 20 to 50 micrometer. Usually the nucleus is round, no, containing 2 to 6 nuclei and fine chromatin. Makikita natin yan when we stain a bone marrow aspirate, okay? Your megakaryoblast is only seen in your bone marrow, no? Hindi pa siya lumalabas. Then, the scanty basophilic cytoplasm contains no granules. So, pag bata pa, wala pa siyang granules pagka thrombocyte. So, yan yung mga characteristic ni megakaryoblast. So, as we can see here in the next slide, is you do have your picture. Okay, a photomicrograph of your megakaryoblast. So, as you can see here depicted, no, merong malaking nucleus. Okay, you do have also nucleoli. And the fine chromatin, as you can see, no, yan, no, kitang-kita. Madarkly yung loob. Darkly staining. Sorry. Okay, you do have also high nucleus and cytoplasm ratio. Also, this is usually 3 to 4 times larger than the RBC. Sabi nga natin, 6 to 24 UM yung size niya. And then, you do have some cytoplasmic blebs. When you say blebs, no, para mga projection on the outer side. Okay? Then, you do have here, no, a microscopic view of the cell. So, ito yung megakaryoblast natin. Okay, so makikita mo yung bleb. Ayan, ano, may blebs. Makikita mo yung nucleus. Mas malaki yung nucleus kaysa sa cytoplasm. And you do have also the chromatin inside. Okay, yan. So, yan. Okay, next, you do have your promegakaryocyte. So, when you see the promegakaryocyte, no, before the megakaryocyte. Your megakaryocyte is your mature cell. So, before na siya. So, this is larger than the megakaryoblast, no? Si megakaryoblast by 14 to 30 micrometer. So, usually, ang size nito is 20 to 80 micrometer. Okay? So, anong size ulit ni megakaryoblast natin? Yung blast natin is 6 to 24. So, usually, plus daw, 14 to 30 yung size ng promegakaryocyte. Okay? And they have more cytoplasm. More cytoplasm than your megakaryoblast. Okay? So, the nucleus become increasingly lobulated and spread out to a horseshoe shape. No? Yan ang characteristic pa nito. Horseshoe shape. Okay? Tandaan, horseshoe shape ang yung promegakaryocyte. No? Indented and lobulated. Yan. And also, it has a coarsening chromatin. Okay? Meron siyang coarsening of the chromatin and also the basophilic cytoplasm with granules beginning to appear. So, meron na tayong appearance of the granules, no? And also the cytoplasmic tags or cytoplasmic blebs are also present. So, also, dito na magsisimula yung DMS. Ano yung DMS? Demarcating membrane system. Okay? CDMS ay future site of your platelet fragmentation. So, ito yung magsisimula ng platelet fragmentation. Ano yung platelet fragmentation? So, dito na yung pagbe-breakdown ng ating platelet from a large cell to a tiny small cells na magbe-burst. Okay, that's your platelet fragmentation. So, CDMS yung may kagagawan nun. And nag-i-start siyang mag-initiate on your pro-megakaryocyte. Okay, so next slide is a photomicrograph of your pro-megakaryocyte. So, as you can see here, no, meron na siyang indentation. May indentation na, and also may kita medyo malaki na yung cytoplasm. And kitang-kita mo yung nucleus, dark na dark. Okay, coarse na yung kulay niya. And then also the cytoplasmic blebs, hindi mawawala yan. Excuse me. Okay, here is a electron micrograph of your promegakaryocytes. So ayan, nakikita indentation. May indentation. Okay? Yung chromatin niya sa loob, dense na dense, compact na compact, dikit na dikit. Okay? And then the cytoplasmic blebs. Also, makita niyo yung cytoplasm niya, mas malaki na kaysa nung sa megakaryoblast. Okay, so yeah. Next is your megakaryocyte. So in megakaryocyte, you do have an immature and mature one. So in megakaryocyte, this increase in size up to 100 micrometers. So, mas malaki na siya. Hanggang 80 lang yung pro-megakaryocyte natin. This is the largest cell in the body. Largest cell in the body. Pinakamalaki sa katawan. Okay? Nasaan pa rin to? Still on your bone marrow. Hindi pa rin siya lumalabas. Okay? Hindi pa rin siya lumalabas. It contains a multi-lobulated nucleus with very coarse chromatin and variable number of nucleoli. So, meron pa rin siyang multilobulated nucleus. So, para na siyang WBC. Nagkakaroon na siya ng, or segmenter, nagkakaroon na siya ng multilobe nucleus with a very coarse chromatin. Makapal pa rin yung chromatin yan. And variable number of nucleoli. Okay? And then, cytoplasm has many small granules that stains purple with right stain. Kaya, may kita natin to, purplish yung color niya. Okay? So yan, it represents 1% of the nucleated bone marrow cell with a reference range of 5 to 10 megakaryocyte on your low power objective. So in a bone marrow smear or aspirate, okay, it will represent 1% of the nucleated bone marrow cell. Nucleated bone marrow cell. So, nucleated bone marrow cells. Okay, 1% yung megakaryocyte natin. And also, on low power objective in your LPO, using your bone aspirate, it has a range of 5 to 10 per LPM. Excuse me. Okay, at also indicates when increase in number, it indicates that your body is in demand of platelets. So, ano nangyayari doon? Usually, in acute bleeding episodes. Okay? Since immature platelet siya, lumalabas na siya dahil kailangan natin ng clotting. Okay? And approximately, this will fragment 2,000 to 4,000 platelets. Okay? So, yung isang megakaryocyte, it will break into 2,000 to 4,000 platelets. Okay? So, and then, ito na yung lalabas. Yung platelets na natin yung lalabas sa peripheral blood since mas maliliit na siya and it can pass through your marrow sinuses. Okay? So, some of the nucleus remains in the marrow and phagocytized by your macrophages. Okay? So, yung cytoplasm lang yung nagbe-break. So, anong itsura ni megakaryocyte? So, ito siya. Malaking-malaki. Malaking-malaki yung cell. Kitang-kita mo yung nucleus na nasa loob. No, multilobulated, sobrang dense, itim na itim. Okay? And 10 to 30 times na siya larger than the RBC. And also, bumaba na yung ratio natin as to nucleus and cytoplasm ratio. So, as you can see here naman, you do have a smear. Okay? So, ayan, malaki na yung cell. Sobrang laki niya. As you can see, compared to your WBCs here, no, and your RBCs, ang laki-laki niya. And then, yung multilobulated na nucleus. And dark yung nucleus niya since it has a compact chromatin. Okay, after niya na, no, magbe-break out na siya, no, it will now produce your thrombocyte. So your thrombocyte is also known as your mature megakaryocytes. So it has a size of 2 to 4 nanometer. Okay, sobrang liit, hindi na siya micrometer, nanometer na, appearing pale blue with azurophilic granules. Okay? May granules siya kahit maliit siya. And this has no nucleus. Okay? Saan napunta yung nucleus ng thrombocytes? Naiwan sa bone marrow. Di ba sabi natin, ang nag-fragment lang is yung cytoplasm. So usually, the size of this in micrometer is 20 to 50 micrometer. No? Meron siyang basophilia and cytoplasm has already disappeared. Okay? Then, no? I read the book. Dahil magkaiba yung sinasabi kasi ni Rodax and yung ibang book. No, yung sa ibang book, ang thrombocyte daw is only nucleus. Sa iba naman, only cytoplasm. So, let's stick to it is a cytoplasm since it is a nucleated cell. Okay? So, yan. So, I don't have any photomicrograph of your thrombocyte, but I have here the cycle. So, coming from your CFU gem, okay, activated by this chemical messengers, going to your BFU megakaryocyte, again, activated by your this chemicals, and then CFU meg. So, dito na tayo nag-start kanina kay CFU meg. Activated by your IL-11, IL-3, and then your thrombopoietin. Okay? Then, you do have your megakaryoblast, your pro-megakaryoblast. Sorry, dito pala may pro-megakaryoblast. So, dito ito sa atin kasi mag-isa lang to Okay, isa lang yan. So, you do have your megakaryoblast going to your pro-megakaryocyte, your megakaryocyte to megakaryocyte, and then to your platelet. So, maliliit na platelet. So, sabi ko nga, maliit, papalaki yung cell, at papaliit ulit. Okay? So, yan. So, in summary, this is a table of your maturation as to your thrombocyte. Okay? So, yan. As to the size range, as to the cytoplasmic staining, granules, and even in your nuclear morphology and NC ratio or nucleus cytoplasm ratio. Next, let's go to your platelet structure. So, your platelet structure, major zones, and its function. So, let's start on your platelet structure. So, this is a electron micrograph of your platelet. Okay? Cross-sectional. So, hinate. So, as you can see here, it has a mitochondria, dense tubular system, cytoskeleton, microtubular system, alpha granules, dense granules, or delta granules, glycogen granules. Also, it has a canalicular system and the covering of your platelet. So, let's discuss it individually. So, the platelet's ultrastructure. So, we can hear ultrastructure since it's too small. Okay, kaya ultrastructure. Okay, you do have your gycocalyx, which is the covering of your platelet or the cytoplasmic membrane. Microtubule and filaments serves as the skeleton of your platelet. Open canalicular system. serves as the entry and exit point of chemical and other metabolic substances. Dense tubular system, okay, mitochondria as your energy, glycogen, alpha, and dense granules or delta granules for your metabolic functions. Okay, so those are your platelet structure. So, isa-isahin natin yan. So, for your glycocalyx, okay, this is composed of the outer membrane surface of your platelet. It is rich in glycoprotein, okay, kaya glycocalyx, okay, which serve as the membrane receptor. So, ito yung dumidikit sa mga vascularities ng ating blood vessel. So, it has, glycoprotein 1B, 2B, 3A, and 5A, which is essential in your platelet, in your primary hemostasis. Okay? So, your GP1B, so we can call this GP, glycoprotein 1B, GP1B, is the receptor for your von Willebrand factor. In the presence of your restositin. Okay. This is only found, okay, in a blood vessel that is ruptured or injured externally. Okay, so pag nasira o nasugat ka, magre-release si platelet mo niyan. Or, yan yung responsible doon sa pag-a-adhere ng platelet to the blood vessel which contains your von Willebrand factor. Okay? So, ano naman si GP2B and 3A? So, si GP2B and 3A, they are also receptors for your von Willebrand factor. Anong ginagawa nila? So, plus fibrinogen. So, magkasama ng von Willebrand factor plus fibrinogen which stimulates is exposed by stimulation of thrombin and the ADP. So, ano yung mangyayari dito? Magkakaroon naman ng, kung itong si GP1B is platelet plus blood vessel, ito naman, si GP2B and 3A, platelet plus platelet. Okay? So, yan na yung mangyayari dyan sa primary hemostasis. And then, we will discuss it further later. Okay, comparison yung mga yan. Then, we do have your GP5A. This is receptor for your thrombin. Your thrombin is essential in the stimulation of von Willebrand factor and fibrinogen during an injury. Okay? Which will be the initiation of your primary hemostasis that will now proceed to clot formation. So, yan. Okay? Ano pang susunod na content ni platelet? You do have your microtubules and microfilaments. So, for your microtubules and microfilaments, these provide an active means of platelet contraction to squeeze out the content of the cytoplasmic granules. So, ano nangyayari dyan? Usually, ito yung responsible during the platelet adhesion and platelet aggregation. Okay, ano nangyayari dyan sa microtubules and contractile filaments? This will now alter the shape of your platelet in accordance to what is needed by your body. Okay? So, yan. So, it will support the normal discoid shape of your platelet. Okay? While your contractile filament, no? Also known as your thrombostenin, will function as also it is also related to your microtubules, and this contains actin. Ito naman, ang content nito ay submembranous membrane. So, submembranous band, Okay? So, yan. Ito naman yung nagpa-function as the skeleton of your platelet. Okay. Next, open canalicular system. So, when we say open canalicular system, this provides direct communication between intracellular and extracellular compartment of your platelet. So, from the outside going to the inside, and from the inside going to the outside of the cell. So, ito yung parang pores. So, kung ito yung platelet mo, merong pores dyan, open yan. Kung ito yung platelet mo, ayan, parang yan, o yung opening siya dyan, no? Dyan siya naglalabas ng toxins, at dito nang pumapasok yung mga nutrients na kailangan ng cells mo. Okay? So, yan. Yan yung open canalicular system. Next, you do have your dense tubular system. So, in the dense tubular system, you do have this is also a support mechanism as to the skeleton of your platelet wherein your microtubules are. So, also it functions in your arachidonic acid metabolism and calcium sequestering pump, which are essential in your primary and secondary hemostasis. So, functional yan. Lalo na si calcium on your secondary hemostasis. Okay. Next, you do have your mitochondria, as again I said earlier, energy production, and your glycogen granules, which provide as an energy substrate. So, dito naman kinukuha ng mitochondria sometimes yung food niya. Okay? As the glycogen or the storage of your energy. After that, you do have your alpha and delta granules. So for your alpha granules, it contains contact promoting factors. So these contact promoting factors are responsible for those functions of your platelet wherein it will have the clotting mechanism. Okay? So yan. Ano bang mga content ng alpha granule? So you do have the platelet fibrinogen, platelet-derived growth factor or your PDGF, your von Willebrand factor, then you do have your beta thromboglobulin or BTG, platelet factor 4. Tandaan nyo pag sinabi yung nakalagay na platelet factor, ha? Pag platelet factor, it will have a number 4. But if it's factor, only heard as factor, it will have a Roman numeral. Okay? Kasi this is a coagulation factor. This is a platelet factor. So, magkaiba sila. Or also known as your heparin neutralizing factor. Then, you do have your fibronectin. This has a specific functions. Later on, i-discuss natin yung mga functions ng isa-isa ng alpha granules na yan. Then, you do have your dense or delta granules. So, you do have the ADP, the ATP or adenosine diphosphate and triphosphate. Then you do have your 5-hydroxytryptamine or 5-HT, or you also known as your serotonin. Okay? Then also your calcium is included in your delta or dense granules. So here in the platelet zones, dito natin i-discuss yung mga granules na yan. So you do have 4 zones of your platelets. So, you do have the peripheral zone, Solgel or structural zone, organelle zone, and your membrane system. Okay? So, for your peripheral zone, this is also known as this is composed of the outside matrix. So, saan siya located? Located to kay glycocalyx, cytoplasmic membrane, open canalicular system, and some membranous area. Bakit? Outside, peripheral, okay? Labas, no? Peripheral meaning labas or external. Okay, anong components nito? You do have the factor 5, von Willebrand factor, fibrinogen, GP1B and GP1B9, GP2B and 3A. Then, you do have the glycolipids also, phospholipid proteins, and mucopolysaccharides. So, ano to mga to? So, si glycocalyx, no, as the external coat of your, platelet, no, it contains glycoprotein receptor sites. So, dyan natin nakita kanina yung mga GP1B, GP2B, 3A, yung mga yan. Okay? On the submembranous area naman, contains phospholipid membranes such as your platelet factor 3. Okay? Platelet factor 3. And even it serves as a surface for interaction of coagulation factor for your secondary hemostasis. Okay? So, isa-isa naman natin yung components. For factor 5, this is component of your prothrombinase, complex, which attach the site for factor 10 on platelet surface. So, ano si factor 10? It is a factor related to your common pathway during the secondary hemostasis. Okay? Next, si von Willebrand factor, para saan to? It transport your factor 8. Okay? It transport your factor 8, no? And mediates the adhesion between platelet and the GP1B9 complex. Okay? So, yan yun. Then, you do have your fibrinogen. This converted to fibrin in final clot formation stage. So, your fibrinogen will be converted into fibrin, no, in the final clot formation. Then, your GP1B9 complex, this is a receptor for von Willebrand factor. Your GP2B3A, this is platelet receptor for your fibrinogen and others. Okay? You also contain others like your glycolipid, phospholipid proteins, and mucopolysaccharides for metabolic functions of your platelet. So, yan yung content ng peripheral zone. Next is your sol gel or your structural zone. So, saan to located? In the circumferential and throughout the platelet. So, buong platelet. So, anong contents nito? It has your skeletal framework. Kaya nga structural. So, you do have the microtubules, microfilament, intermediate filaments, and all the involved in the maintenance of the shape and shape change on the platelet activation. Okay? So, dito mo makikita si actin, si myosin, okay, yung mga contractile protein na yan, and also the cytoskeleton. Okay. Next, you do have your organelle zone. For the organelle zone, ito na yung located internally. So, organelles, ano ba yun? Mga small organs natin. Okay? So, ano mga components nito? You do have your granules such as your alpha and delta. So, pag alpha, 50 to 80 per platelet. Pag delta naman, 3 to 8 per platelet yung laman. Lysosomal granules, so for the suicide of your platelet or your hydrolytic enzymes. Peroxisomes, mitochondria, and your glycogen particles. So, ano yung mga yan, no? Okay. It controls the platelet function. So, si organelle zone controls the platelet function in response to coagulation. Okay? So, si organelle zone yung nagpa-function pagka magko-coagulate na. Or pag gagamitin na si platelet sa coagulation system. Okay? So, yan. So, sa alpha granules naman, okay, it contains different proteins. So, punta na tayo sa alpha and delta. Okay. Ito. Sa alpha granules, so you do have a lot of factors seen here, or granules content here. So, you do have first of all, you do have your factor 5 and factor 11, which is essential in your fibrin formation. So, yan yung mga essential nila or function nila, ha? Okay? Fibrinogen, convert to fibrin na used in your platelet aggregation. On your protein S, regulation of fibrin formation via protein C pathway. Also, yung tissue factor pathway inhibitor, okay, or TFPI, regulation of fibrin formation by inhibiting factor 7 or tissue factor complex. Then you do have your von Willebrand factor, also the binding of platelets to your collagen, which is found on your blood vessels. Then your PI1 or your plasminogen activator inhibitor 1, which is an inhibitor of your fibrinolysis. Bakit ini-inhibit natin si fibrinolysis? Kasi hindi magkakaroon ng clot formation pag meron agad fibrinolysis. So, dinidelay natin yung fibrinolysis until makumpleto natin yung clot formation. Okay? So, yan. Then, you do have your platelet factor 4, which is your heparin neutralizing. Bakit? Yung heparin neutralizing, kailangan mo, dino-neutralize mo yung normal anticoagulant ng body. Okay? In order for your clot to form. This is also a chemoattractant, which means it will attract more platelet or more coagulation factor in the site of injury. Then, you do have beta thromboglobulin, which is also chemoattractant, and thrombospondin, which is a stabilization factor for your platelets. So, yan yung content ng alpha granules. Ano naman kay delta or kay dense granules? So, here, you do have your ADP, ATP, and your calcium and serotonin. So, ADP, so this is your adenosine diphosphate, which is a platelet antagonist, positive feedback to enhance platelet response and recruitment. So, sa ADP, anong ginagawa niya? Anong ginagawa niya? Tinatawag yung mga platelet na iba. Okay, nagtatawag siya, hoy mga platelet, lapit kayo dito kasi merong injury dito. Okay, ganun ginagawa ng ADP. Ano naman ginagawa ng ATP? Ina-activate niya si calcium channel, which is an agonist for other cells. Okay, anong ginagawa niya? Nire-repel niya yung other cells. Si platelet lang pinapalapit niya. Okay, and si calcium is also essential in your secondary hemostasis. Okay, ina-activate yun ni ATP. So, pinapadami niyo yung calcium sa area of injury. Then si calcium, anong ginagawa? Essential in secondary hemostasis. So, in every step of the secondary hemostasis, meron tayong kailangan na calcium. Okay? Then for serotonin, this is a platelet agonist and responsible for vasoconstriction. So, in the primary hemostasis, this is the first step, no? The vasoconstriction. You need to constrict the blood vessel in order for your cells to coagulate in that site of injury. So, yan yung laman ng delta or dense granules. Another platelet zone, you do have your membrane system, which contains your, which is located on your surface-connected open canalicular system or your CSCS or your OS, and dense tubular system. So, ano to mga to? Si dense tubular system does not connect to platelet surface. Ang ginagawa ni dense tubular system, nire-regulate niya yung intracellular calcium concentration. Ano naman ginagawa ni SCCS? No? It will, no, important in the storage and secretion of what? Of your platelets. No? Intercellular calcium of your platelet. Okay, also in your OS or your open canalicular, it will release granular contents throughout the channel leading to your surface of the platelet, wherein these contents are your platelet activators, and chemoattractants. Okay, so yan yung function ni membrane system. Lastly, okay, you do have your platelet characteristics. So, your normal platelet in an individual is 150 to 400. Okay, times 10 raised to 9 per liter, or approximately 7 to 21 per high power field of your peripheral blood smear. Also, it has a lifespan of 8 to 12 days, wherein it is shorter pagka meron kang ibang sakit or in this state. Okay? So, in this in this count, no, 2/3 of your available platelet are in the circulation, while the 1/3 is stored in the spleen. Okay, so anong storage ng atin ng platelet? Spleen. Okay, ilan percent? 1/3. Okay. With right stain, it stains gray-blue with purplish granules. So usually, makikita naman natin siya purplish na. Kasi usually, sobrang liit yung granules lang mapapansin nyo. Okay? Also, platelets are found in the bone marrow, spleen, and blood vessels, no, circulating. And also, it functions in the hemostasis. It also originates in the same progenitor cells such with your erythroid and myeloid series. Okay? Kaya GEMM yung progenitor cell nila. Okay? And then, giant platelets, no, indicates premature release, need for the demand. So, meron kang increase in demand. And also, immature platelets are found in the certain types of diseases such as your acute megakaryocytic leukemia or myelodysplastic syndromes. And with the last slide, your thrombocytic function or thrombocyte function, it depends on the platelets secreted proteins, ATP, ADP, calcium, and platelet factors. So these are the essential factors of your platelet to function well, wherein this is released by your platelet. Okay? Yan yung mga nire-release ng platelet nyo, which is discussed already on your alpha and dense granules. Okay? Plays a major role in primary hemostasis and activation of your secondary hemostasis. So, kaya dalawa yung function niya. Okay? So, yan. So, that's all for your platelet. Thank you.